The words hit me like a slap across the face, sharp and stinging, in the middle of our pristine living room where the afternoon sun filtered through lace curtains like mocking spotlights. I demand a paternity test for that child. My mother-in-law, Evelyn, spat, her voice laced with venom that curdled the air. She stood there, silver hair impeccably coiffed, pearls gleaming against her cashmere sweater, pointing a manicured finger at my swollen belly as if it were evidence of a crime. My husband, Mark, froze beside me on the couch, his coffee mug suspended mid-air, steam rising like the ghost of our shattered peace. The room smelled of her overpowering rose perfume mixed with the faint bitterness of the herbal tea she'd insisted I drink. For the baby's sake, she'd said. Humiliation burned in my chest, a wildfire spreading to my cheeks, my hands trembling as I clutched the ultrasound photo we'd just shown her. How dare she? After 2 years of marriage, of enduring her subtle digs about my common background, this was the blade she'd been sharpening all along. I couldn't speak at first. My throat tightened, words lodged like shards of glass. Denial surged through me. This couldn't be real. Evelyn, the pillar of suburban perfection, the woman who'd hosted charity galas and whispered judgments about unfit mothers at family dinners, now accusing me of infidelity right in our home. Mark finally stammered. "Mom, what the hell? That's insane." But her eyes, cold and unyielding like polished steel, never left mine. Insane. Look at her family history, Mark. Her mother's scandals. Divorces, affairs. Blood doesn't lie. I won't let you raise another man's bastard under my roof. The word bastard echoed in my mind, a profane stain on the life growing inside me. I felt exposed, violated, as if she'd stripped me bare in front of an audience. Heartbreak clawed at my insides. This wasn't just an insult. It was a declaration of war on my integrity, my love for Mark, our future. As she gathered her coat and stormed out, slamming the door with a finality that rattled the picture frames, I collapsed into sobs. Mark pulled me close, his arms a feeble barrier against the storm raging in my soul. "She's just scared," he murmured, his voice cracking. "The baby's coming soon, she's overreacting." But I knew better. This was no fleeting outburst. Evelyn had always viewed me as an interloper, the girl from the wrong side of town who'd snared her golden boy. Her verbal slap, as I'd later call it in whispered confessions to friends, wasn't random. It was calculated, a seed planted to erode our marriage from within. That night, as Mark slept fitfully beside me, I lay awake, staring at the ceiling fan's lazy spin, resentment festering like an untreated wound. Anger bubbled up, hot and unrelenting. How could she dismantle my world with a single demand? Humiliation twisted into something darker. Obsession. I replayed her words, her smug expression, fantasizing about confronting her, screaming back the truths she'd buried about her own flawed life. The next morning, over burnt toast and cooling coffee, Mark tried to downplay it. "Mom's always been dramatic. We'll talk to her." His optimism grated against my raw nerves. I nodded, forcing a smile, but inside doubt crept in like fog. What if he secretly wondered too? Our relationship had been a whirlwind. Met at a corporate retreat, married within a year. I'd shared my past. A chaotic childhood with a mother who'd chased love in all the wrong places. But Mark had assured me it didn't matter. Now, Evelyn's poison lingered. I spent the day alone in our sunlit kitchen, the scent of lemons from the cleaner I'd obsessively sprayed clinging to my skin, as I scrolled through old photos on my phone. There we were at our wedding, Evelyn beaming falsely in the background. Resentment hardened into resolve. I wouldn't let her win. But revenge. The word whispered in my mind, seductive and terrifying. Guilt nipped at its heels. What kind of mother plots vengeance while carrying a child? Days blurred into a tense routine. Mark called Evelyn, pleading for reconciliation, but she doubled down in clipped phone conversations I eavesdropped on from the hallway. "I'm protecting you, son. Get the test, or I'll cut you out of the will." Her manipulation was masterful, weaving guilt and legacy into a noose. I felt like a spectator in my own life, heartbeat quickening with each overheard word. At prenatal checkups, The doctor's office hummed with fluorescent lights and the soft whir of ultrasound machines, but even there, Evelyn's shadow loomed. "Everything looks perfect," the doctor said, printing another scan. I clutched it like a talisman, but fury simmered. How could I bring a child into this fractured family? Inner conflict tore at me. Part of me yearned to forgive, to chalk it up to generational paranoia. But humiliation replayed in loops, her accusatory stare, the way she'd sneered at my belly. Obsession took root during sleepless nights, the baby's kicks a reminder of what was at stake. I began journaling in secret, hidden in a drawer under folded onesies. She thinks I'm a whore. But what if I turn the mirror on her? Fantasies bloomed, exposing her hypocrisies, like the rumors I'd heard from Mark's aunt about Evelyn's own youthful indiscretions. Doubt assailed me. Was I becoming the monster she accused me of being? Moral conflict gnawed. Revenge felt justified, yet poisonous. Subtle hints of my unraveling emerged. At a family brunch Mark insisted on, the air thick with tension and the clink of silverware on porcelain, Evelyn arrived with a forced smile, bearing a gift basket of organic baby lotions. "For the little one," she said sweetly, but her eyes flicked to my midsection with suspicion. I accepted it with gritted teeth, my voice steady. "Thank you, Evelyn. We're so excited." Inside, cold resolve solidified. As we ate quiche that tasted like ash, I probed gently. "Mark tells me you had quite the adventurous youth. Any stories to share?" Her fork paused, a flicker of unease crossing her face. "Nothing worth repeating, dear." The exchange was brief, but it planted a seed. My first strategic move. Suspense built in quiet moments. Her wary glances, Mark's oblivious chatter. I was playing a long game, fear mingling with exhilaration. Weeks passed, the nursery taking shape with soft blues and stuffed animals, their glassy eyes watching my secret plans. I delved into research late at night, the glow of my laptop screen illuminating my face like a conspirator's lantern. Public records, old newspaper clippings. Evelyn's pristine facade had cracks. A hushed divorce in her 20s, whispers of an affair that shattered her first marriage. Guilt surged. This was Mark's mother. But resentment overpowered it. She'd humiliated me publicly, demanded proof of my fidelity like I was on trial. Planning became my anchor. Meticulous, calculated. I'd confront her not with screams, but with evidence, turning her weapon against her. The turning point came during a stormy evening, rain lashing the windows like accusations. Mark was at work late. I invited Evelyn over under the pretense of mending fences. She arrived dripping, umbrella folding with a snap. The living room felt smaller, shadows dancing from the flickering candle I'd lit for ambience, or illusion. "I'm glad you called," she said, settling into the armchair, her voice laced with false warmth. "We need to discuss the test." My heart pounded, but I poured tea calmly, the steam rising between us. "Actually, Evelyn, I have something for you." I slid a folder across the coffee table, its contents gleaned from hours of digging. Photocopies of court documents, a faded photo of her with a mystery man from decades ago. Her face paled as she opened it, hands trembling. "What is this?" Suspense hung thick. I leaned forward, voice low. "Proof that blood doesn't lie. Your secrets exposed." Her eyes met mine, shock mingling with rage. The storm outside mirrored the one brewing. My revenge had begun, but at what cost? As she stammered denials, the baby kicked hard, a jolt of reality. Guilt flooded me. Was this justice or obsession? The confrontation escalated, her voice rising. "You little bitch, digging into my past?" I held my ground, but fear crept in. What if Mark found out? The night ended with her fleeing into the rain, folder clutched like a curse. Alone I sank to the floor, heartbreak resurfacing. Revenge tasted bitter, laced with doubt. Yet resolve hardened. This was only the beginning. The days following my confrontation with Evelyn were a haze of uneasy silence, the house echoing with unspoken threats. Mark noticed the chill in my voice when her name came up, but I deflected with smiles and distractions. rubbing my belly, talking about baby names. Inside, obsession consumed me like a fever. I'd crossed a line, revealing her affair to her face, but it wasn't enough. Humiliation demanded reciprocity. I wanted her to feel the sting of exposure, the way her demand had stripped me bare. Moral conflict raged. I was pregnant, vulnerable. Shouldn't I focus on peace? But resentment whispered justifications. She'd attacked my child's legitimacy, our family's core. Fantasies evolved from confrontation to orchestration, subtle manipulations that would unravel her world without direct fingerprints. Evelyn's retaliation was swift, veiled in concern. She called Mark daily, her voice honeyed poison. "I'm worried about her stress levels, son." That outburst. "It's not healthy for the baby." He relayed it over dinner, forks scraping his plate in the dim kitchen light, the scent of garlic lingering. "Mom says you two argued." "What happened?" I hesitated, heart racing. "She brought up the test again. I told her to drop it." Partial truth, laced with omission. His brow furrowed, but he nodded, trusting. Guilt twisted like a knife. I was deceiving the man I loved to punish his mother. Inner thoughts spiraled. Was this betrayal mirroring hers? Doubt shadowed every step, but cold resolve pushed forward. I began phase 2, gathering allies. At a neighborhood coffee shop, steam rising from lattes and the murmur of conversations providing cover, I met Mark's aunt, Lydia, a woman Evelyn had long dismissed as the black sheep. Lydia's eyes widened over her mug as I shared the folder's contents, her laughter bitter. That old hypocrite. She had an affair with my husband's best friend back then. Ruined 2 marriages. Sensory details sharpened the moment. The bitter espresso on my tongue, the warmth of the cup against my palms, rain pattering on the window like impatient fingers. Lydia leaned in, voice conspiratorial. "What do you need from me?" Suspense built in her hesitation, my pulse quickening. Just the truth, shared at the right time. We parted with a hug, her perfume floral and freeing. Planning intensified. Timing was key, a slow burn to maximize impact. As my due date neared, the house buzzed with preparations. Crib assembly, the metallic tang of tools and fresh paint. But tension simmered beneath. Evelyn hosted a baby shower. Her domain a sprawling garden estate where manicured lawns stretched under a tinted sky. Guests milled about, laughter tinkling like crystal, but I felt like prey in a lion's den. She approached with a platter of canapés, smile plastered. "Darling, you look radiant." Her eyes darted to my belly, suspicion veiled. I returned the smile, suppressed rage boiling. "Thank you, Evelyn. I've been reflecting on family histories lately." A subtle hint, her grip tightening on the tray. Dialogue crackled with undercurrents. "History's best left buried," she murmured. The party dragged, each toast a facade, my mind racing with scenarios. What if I revealed everything here? Fear held me back, too public, too chaotic. That night, back home with gifts piled like trophies, Mark collapsed beside me, exhausted. "It went well, right?" I nodded, but obsession gnawed. In the quiet hours, I emailed Lydia anonymously from a burner account, attaching scans of the documents. "Share if you must," I wrote, heart pounding. Moral grayness enveloped me. This wasn't direct revenge, but engineered fallout. Guilt surfaced in waves. What if it destroyed Mark? But heartbreak from her initial slap propelled me. No mercy for the merciless. The unraveling began subtly. Whispers at family gatherings, Lydia's accidental slips over wine. "Remember Evelyn's first husband? Such a scandal." Evelyn's calls to Mark grew frantic. "Your aunt is spreading lies." He confronted me in our bedroom, moonlight slicing through blinds. His face etched with confusion. "What's going on?" "Mom's hysterical." I feigned innocence, tears welling. Authentic, born of inner turmoil. "I don't know, but maybe it's karma." His embrace felt like chains. Doubt eroded our bond. Suspense mounted as Evelyn isolated herself. Her galas unattended, friends distancing. The climax loomed during a family dinner at her estate, thunder rumbling outside like ominous applause. The dining room gleamed with polished silver and candlelight, the air heavy with roast beef and unspoken accusations. Evelyn sat at the head, gaunt and defiant. Mark tried mediating. "Let's clear the air," she exploded. "Your wife is poisoning this family." I met her gaze, voice steady. "Like you poisoned mine with your demands." Revelations tumbled. Lydia arrived uninvited, folder in hand. "Time for truth," she declared. Evelyn's face crumpled as documents circulated, gasps rippling through relatives. Humiliation mirrored mine. Her secrets laid bare. But the twist struck like lightning. As chaos erupted, Mark pulled me aside, voice breaking. "The test." I took one secretly. "The baby's mine, but Mom's DNA from the folder. She's not my biological mother." Shock froze me. Evelyn's affair had borne fruit. Mark was the bastard she'd projected onto our child. Poetic justice crashed down. Her demand unearthed her own deception. She collapsed in sobs, the room spinning with revelations. I felt a surge of cold triumph, mingled with pity. Revenge delivered, but at what price? In the aftermath, as rain pelted the windows, Mark held me, our family redefined. Guilt lingered, but resolve won. Betrayal begot betrayal, yet from the ashes, truth emerged. The baby kicked, a promise of renewal amid the wreckage.